Alright, today we have a video on the Dell Inspiron 13 5000 series laptop. This is pretty much the base model. Got an i3 6100U in it, 4 gigs of RAM, and a standard 5400 RPM hard drive in it. I'm doing a overview of this laptop after about 2 days of using it, and the reason for just waiting 2 days and not longer is I will be upgrading it, and then I will be doing a more extensive overview and, well, having more time to see what I like and not like. And I'm trying to get this video out so that y'all can see what y'all think of the laptop if you're looking to buy this one, since it did recently launch. Now, this laptop is made of more of plastics. It's not aluminum. The 7000 series Inspiron 13 is made with aluminum, so this isn't the top of line Inspiron 13, and then Inspiron line is below XPS. But this is a convertible laptop, so you can flip it all the way over and turn it into a tablet. But first off, we're just going to start with more of A to B, more of overview of this laptop. We're going to start with exterior and then work into interior, and then into how it is actually using the laptop and how fast it is. So just give you a quick another rundown of the ports. On this side there is the standard microphone jack, headphone jack, 2 USB 3.0 and a HDMI, and also the power port right there, if it'll focus. Then where this black USB dongle for my mouse is a USB 2.0 port, and then a standard SD card reader, and then a lock slot. You have the 2 vents here at the bottom, and then you have the vent right here at the back, and I would recommend not blocking that or it will get quite warm. At the bottom of the unit you have the 2 stereo speakers. They get pretty loud. I will give a brief demo at about 50% once I open the laptop up. There is really no flex in the laptop when it's closed, but when it is open, just the screen, I don't know if y'all can see this, but screen will flex, but that's kind of expected. But I'll change camera angles and we will get to looking at the inside of the laptop. Alright, so we're on the desktop here, and just like to start off with the touchpad here. It is more of the material made of the laptop, which is more of a simulated metal. It's okay feeling wise, and what I do like best about it is it does not really leave fingerprints on here, and there are some misses on it every once in a while when you're actually clicking using the touchpad. But if you use the physical buttons built into the touchpad, it's fine. Keyboard, especially key travel wise, is alright. I'm used to a mechanical keyboard for my main computer, so it's a little bit much to get adjusted to, cutting the key travel in basically like a fourth or something. But it's still really nice, and I'm pretty good at typing on it. You got up here all the function buttons. You can turn volume up and down without having to hit the actual FN function button. We'll go ahead and look at some of the menus inside. You got pull over, and you can This has got Bluetooth as well, and that actually works really well. But you can, on the side menu over here, you can actually change a bunch of settings inside the quick settings. But to go with the screen is, well, a touch screen, so it's got a glossy finish on it, which is, it's alright. It's just, there's a lot of glare a lot of the time, so it's a little bit hard to see, but you can crank the brightness up. This is at 50% brightness. I'll go ahead and crank it down. This is 0%, 25, 50, 75, and 100. It's a pretty bright display. I like to keep mine on about 25 to 50. I don't bring it up much over that because it is a pretty bright display. Touchscreen wise is very accurate. Not quite as accurate as my phone or the iPad it is replacing, but with some more calibration in the software and everything, I should be able to get it more dialed in. But in terms of hinges, the hinges are rated up to, Dell actually tested them up to like 20,000 opens and closes, I believe, and they were still in perfect, well, not perfect, but in good condition. But the screen has a little bit of wobble, as you can see. When you're actually touching on the display, it does like to wobble quite a bit, so that can get in the way and stuff. So I usually like to flip it over into tablet mode. You can put it into presentation mode, I believe is what this is, and it doesn't wobble or do anything like that. And you can also flip it over like this, since the screen does rotate. The web camera I have not tested yet. I don't use web cameras personally, but from what I remember, it is a 720p webcam, so not the best. I would have liked to see a 1080p webcam if you're actually going to use this. In terms of battery life, if you click on the battery setting right here, I don't know if you can see, but it says 9 hours and 4 minutes. That's not really true. I would say you're gonna pretty much average right around 5 to 6 hours. But that was with me. I was watching videos pretty much the whole time. So not really the most ideal setting, but if you're just typing or browsing the internet, you should be able to get about 7 hours out of this machine. Charging time does not actually take that long. It will charge in about 2.5 hours, and I was actually using it, so I'd expect around 2.5 to 2 hours from like pretty much dead to complete full charge. In terms of performance, this computer does pretty well. Don't be expecting to just go out and play the latest titles in terms of games on here. And do some light video editing if you would like to on here. The i3 is there's really no difference between the i7U's, which is the 6500U, and then the 6200U, which is the i5, and then this i3 6100U. There's no real difference in terms of cores, so you're not really gaining anything by going i7. All you're getting is a clock speed increase over the i3, whether you go i5 or i7. So in my justification, not really worth it. The only thing you do lose by not going with at least an i5 is you do not have turbo boost. So it will not boost up when you're doing a single threaded application, but I haven't found that to really be an issue. Now, with speed wise, it does boot in about 1 minute, right around 1 minute and 6 seconds. And then let's see what the disk speed is, since I did save a screenshot of that. If you can see that right there, sequential read speeds with crystal disk mark. is 98 and read and 98 write, so it's not a bad hard drive. It is decently fast. I am used to an SSD, so that is why I am replacing this hard drive in here with an SSD, as I'm just used to an SSD on a daily basis, and it will also improve battery life. So I will also be trying to see if there's any battery life improvements once I install the new SSD. So one thing I did want to try was these Dell styluses. So I did order one of these, and it really doesn't work. It might be a dead pin, because I did take the battery out and it would not work at all. So I believe this could be a dead pin, or it just does not work well with this machine. But on the next overview and review I do of it, once I have upgraded it, I will do an update on the pin. I'm going to try to get a replacement and see if that is the problem. Now these keyboards, just to recap on the keyboard, you can get backlit, but they're actually really easy to see. But I would recommend, if you're using in a lot of low light scenarios, to go ahead and go with a backlit keyboard. But this model that I got does not have a backlit keyboard. Now, to get back to the display, it is 1080p, full HD. It's a very nice display. It is IPS. I don't have any color calibration meters or anything like that, so I can't calibrate it or show you how good the colors are, but it is IPS, so you can do video editing or photo editing on here, and if you have the equipment to calibrate it, then you can, and you'll get some better, it'll be better for that application. So to get with what I will be upgrading it to, I have, in the other video you saw that I had gotten an SSD, and this is actually not that SSD. I had gotten a new SSD for my main computer y'all have seen in another video sitting in the background. Anyway, I put a 480 gig SSD in there, and I took the 240 gig Kingston V300 SSD out of there, and that will be going in that rig. And then I got 8 gigs of Kingston HyperX Fury RAM for this. If it does have 2 RAM slots, then I will be putting the 8 gig stick and the 4 gig in there. So for a total of 12 gigs, but if it only has 1 RAM slot, I will just be putting the 1 8 gig stick in there. But that will be for the next video. On this machine, I will be doing a teardown of the machine and installing the SSD and the RAM. So y'all will be able to see that, and I'll do some, if y'all would like to, I'll show y'all how to clone the hard drive you have now and use the cloning software to install on an SSD. So that should about wrap it up for this video. I will do a more in-depth review on the next time, but I am leaving on a trip, so I really wanted to get this upgraded before the trip. The 4 gigs of RAM has not really been limiting. It usually sits around 3.5 gigs of RAM, and Windows is smart about managing everything. So you don't really max out on RAM, but I do like to run a lot of Chrome tabs, and it can fill the RAM up quite a bit, so I've had to be conservative on Chrome tabs. But overall, for the average user, this machine would be great. It is pretty fast. In my opinion, you don't need the i5 or i7. If you're actually looking for real performance, go ahead and step up to a quad core, a real mobile chip, not the U models, which is for the Ultrabooks. So I will catch y'all in the next video where I'll be upgrading everything. Then I might be doing a video on gaming on this laptop. It's not the best, but you can game on it at low settings and 720p. You can run some games at 1080p. But in terms of heat, just to go ahead and make sure that y'all know that this thing is pretty good on heat. It only maxed out at about 7 degrees Celsius when I was maxing the CPU out. So it can keep it pretty cool. Just make sure the vents are kept open and kept airflow. So that'll be that for the video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. If you have any comments or questions about this laptop, go ahead and hit me up in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye for now.